happy to be here. You know, I think it's fair to say that I'm a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to AU Gold. I'm talking that sweet, sweet.
I have autism. I can't help it.
I've just got a thing for it. It just makes me laugh. I don't know. I've always been able to key in on it. I can tell when someone's got it. I know all of the different functions and all the different little quirks and anomalies of a guy who's suffering from the dreaded disease of autism, even Asperger's, the whole spectrum. I love everybody on the entire spectrum, which is why probably one of my favorite sketches of all time is actually this one here from The Onion. If you've never seen it, it's called Autistic Reporter Michael Falk Enchanted by Prison's Rigid Routine. The name alone makes me laugh, but check out this sketch if you've never seen it before.
Autistic reporter Michael Falk joins us now with his interview. Nice to see you again, Michael.
I cannot see you, Brooke. I can only hear you.
Right.
Okay. Hello, Brooke. I finished speaking with Brian Wasserman 26 minutes ago and have been standing here since then waiting for you to talk to me. Watch that interview now. Brian Wasserman used to live in a very big mansion. Now he lives in a tiny jail cell. Is living in prison different from living in a 40,000 square foot mansion in Westchester?
Yeah, it's different.
How is it different from living in a 40,000 square foot mansion in Westchester?
Well, it's every second of my day is accounted for. It's just day after day of rigid routine.
Rigid routine. What is the rigid routine?
Well, we get up at exactly 6 a.m.
Yes.
Exactly 6:15 a.m. Everyone is counted.
Counted.
Yeah, we have to line up 7 times a day to be counted.
Line up and be counted.
And then there's the food. I never tasted such terrible food.
How long do you have to stay in the line?
We have to walk in lines everywhere.
Do you have to make that line straight?
Oh, yeah. Well, frankly, I always thought you didn't have to do anything in prison, but we have a work detail, and it's hard. Just yesterday, I spent the entire day stacking crates, just one on top of the other.
I like to stack.
You do?
Yes, I like to stack crates, stacking crates.
Yeah, well, it's hard work.
Yes, stacking crates.
Yeah. I don't mean to complain, but
One on top of another,
I realize
on top of
what I
another,
did
on top
was
of another, on top
wrong.
of another.
I just want to serve my time, and maybe I can get out of here and get back to my family.
Why do you want to get out of here?
For my family.
Can you stack your family?
What?
I want to be in prison.
No, you don't.
I want to be in prison.
No, you don't.
Yes.
You see, it takes its toll on you. Well, you wear the same clothes every day,
Yes.
and you live in this tiny little box,
Yes.
and there's hardly any human contact.
How do I get to live here?
No.
How do I get to live here? I need
you
to go to
don't-
prison now.
I don't think you understand.
Now.
You see, this is a scary
Now.
place.
Now.
I mean, sure, there are normal guys like me who are in here for
Now.
embezzling and fraud, but
that takes too
we
long. I need to go
also
to prison
have
now.
violent
I need to
offenders.
go now.
I mean, the guy in the next cell over, he robbed the convenience store and shot the cashier.
Robbed a convenience store.
Yeah,
I
so,
shot the cashier. Shot the
you know,
cashier. Okay.
I mean, it's a
Make sure the
scary
cashier's
place.
dead.
It's rough.
Make sure the cashier is dead.
Okay, so as you can see, that's a very, very good one. And that dude is incredible, by the way, whoever played that autistic reporter. But I've always watched that and wondered, like, how true would that be? What if that guy was real? I have a feeling there must be a guy like that out there. You know, I recently purchased a prison. I went out there and I said, why not? Why shouldn't I be able to own one? It's time some of these goons get locked up. And it turns out my dream is real. Let me introduce you to a guy who's known on TikTok as Prison Dude. Ladies and gentlemen, this one's a little different.
I wish I was handcuffed and taken into a cop car and on my way to a nice cozy jail cell right about now. The freedom would be nice to have. It's so hard to not deal with freedom. I need it badly to survive. Right now, all those people that are locked up in their cells, looking in the free world and having no responsibilities in life, it must be better off than me. I want an opportunity for myself to be secured and restrained where I belong. It's not where I don't belong here is in this world.
All those people that are in this building, that is in this picture, I'm so jealous of. I wish that was me. I wish I could be happy. I wish I could have the freedom that they have. I just want to be locked up in a jail cell. I want to be happy again.
Every day there's somebody being given their freedom. Every day there's somebody getting locked up in a cozy, luxurious cell and getting everything they need in life, but that person isn't me.
Why are people so ungrateful about going to jail? They get everything they need and more. People like me who want to be in jail cannot have it, but those who commit crimes can get catered to on everything they need. Free food, free shelter, free clothing, free medical. I wish I was lucky. I wish I could be the one who had that cozy little cell to just crawl into.
The more society tells me that I don't need to be locked up and in jail, the more I just want to be there. Another reason why people won't give me jail is because of the luxurious lifestyles they get, and because cops don't seem to care about anybody who needs to have confinement and needs the comfort of the cells. It's a elite group of people that get everything they need in life, whereas people like me have to sit there and struggle every day. And for once, I wish I could be locked up and free and be able to have everything that catered to me on a silver platter like they get. I'm so sick and tired of being in this world. I want to be able to be locked up in jail where all the people that are happy are at. I wish I was in jail right now, where all those happy inmates are right at this moment. I just don't know if I can take it anymore. I wish somebody would care and would put me in jail. I still am looking for a jail cell. I wish somebody would help me with that problem. Is there anyone real?
I need to be in a jail cell right now. I still can't keep on going every day like this. I wish someone would help me get there.
Please, can someone get me in a jail cell right now? I really could use it.
I'm just speechless. I saw a guy die, or was dead, and the paramedics tried to save his life. It was a bad day.
I wish I was in jail right now. I can't wait to finally be able to have that opportunity. I'd trade places with anyone in jail any day. This place sucks. Wish I could be happy.
Wish I was happy and wish I was secured and sleeping in jail right now.
Wish I could pay to get locked up right now. I'm so tired of it all. I need to be locked up in jail right now. Is there anyone who can help me, please? Wish I could be in jail without committing a crime. I just want to get a nice break from all the things. I need to get away and be in a cell right now, but nobody can do that for me. I wish I was locked on an ankle monitor right now. I wish I was happy. I wish I was not rejected in life. I honestly don't understand why my followers think I'm straight. Never once have said it. I'm tired. I want to just get away, and I want to just disappear and be locked away. Wish I was locked up tonight. Wish I was sleeping inside a cell. Wish I was happy. There's no way I can commit a crime to want to get locked up. I want to be locked up without having to do that. I shouldn't have to. I need to get away and to be happy. I need my prison cell tonight. Why can't that ever happen? Why can't dreams ever come true? I wish for my birthday that I could just be free. I wish I could be free inside my cell, happily, ever after. But life doesn't happen for good people. Wish I could be in a prison cell. Wish I could be sleeping right now, happy. Why can't I be like all the others? Wish I want my freedom back. I want to be happy. I wish I could be locked up in jail tonight, like all those other lucky inmates in life, but that's just too much to ask. Wish I could just be locked up right now. I can't take this life anymore. I'm tired of being poor. I'm tired of being alive. I just want to be locked up tonight. I just want to sleep inside a cell. Why is it so goddamn hard? I can't even do anything I need to make me happy. I can't even be in a jail cell. Why is that so damn hard?
How come people can be in jail and I can't experience that?
I'm going insane. I need my home. I need my fun place to be. Is there anyone who has a jail cell available? I can't even get a PS5. I just wish I could have something to distract me. I wish I could just be locked away. How hard is it to be a decent human being with compassion and respect? I feel like people are just taking advantage of others. And with all this lockdown, I wish I had a PS5.
Just lock me up and send me to a jail. I can't take this pain much more.
No one wants to help me with the PS5. Nobody wants to help me be locked in jail. Come on, just take me to jail already. I just want to be happy. I'm tired of fighting with everything. I'm tired of that. Anything going right in my life. Fuck the holidays. Can someone please lock me up in a jail cell tonight? Or get me locked up on an ankle monitor ASAP? I can't stand this fucking world. I just want to be locked away and not have to deal with anything anymore. I wish my dream would come true of being locked up inside a jail cell. I wish that somehow, that somebody would have the compassion and humanity to do such a thing to help me and be placed inside one.
Wish I was sleeping in jail right now. I wish I didn't have to commit a crime to be able to have what I want. I shouldn't have to. I should have that right to be happy and fundamentally locked up and secured. But no, it'll never happen because no one cares.
How hard is it to actually do something for somebody and actually care about somebody? It's not that hard to put somebody in a jail cell. There's so many freaking ones available, and yet I do everything and have to pay the taxes for them. Why can't I have it?
Freedom is the feeling of happiness, the feeling of being locked up, being able to not have to worry about everything else.
Wish I was locked up in jail for the holidays.
I deserve to be happy this holiday. I deserve to be locked in a jail cell or on an ankle monitor. I should be able to have a PS5 as well. Why is it so damn hard to even care about somebody other than yourselves? Hurry up. Lock me away. Or give me a PS5.
Give me my freedom. Let me be locked up. Let me see a cell tonight. Let me not be stuck in this holiday without what I need or what I care for or desire. No one's more caring or loving than me. I'm praying for a miracle this 2020. Is there anyone that can help that become a reality? I wish I was able to be free and in a cell.
Got robbed at gunpoint for $650. People don't meet people for PS5. It's not worth it.
Just one thing for Christmas. Just one fucking thing. Either let me be locked up in a cell, or let me have a PS5. Let me just not have to deal with all this fucking pain in life. I'm just tired and over it.
Wish I was confined in a cell. I wish I was in jail for the holidays, but I guess that'll never seem to be a reality.
All those inmates in jail are so damn lucky this holiday season. I just wish I was one of them. Those inmates have everything they are catered to. Beck and call for food, shelter, water, luxurious accommodations, restraints, everything that I could have dreamed of. But, you know, I never will get lucky for holidays to be locked up. I can't even get a cop to do their goddamn job to let me have that experience. Must be nice to be those lucky ones who can go to jail and have somewhere else to go if they do go there, or for committing a crime.
I wish I was in jail right now, like all those people that are happy, enjoying their life.
All those people in jail right now have the best freedoms in life. Why can't I have that dream? The person who robbed me at gunpoint was found, but the person who suffers the most is me. That person right now is getting all the luxurious attention and pampering in the jail, while I can't even have any of that. Why is it I can't be locked up in a jail cell right now? Why is it I can't have something that'll make me happy or feel more secure? At least those in jail get every fucking thing handed on a silver platter. I wish I was him right now. I wish I had that opportunity to be locked up. But I just can't morally commit the crime. I can't do it.
Why is it people that can commit crimes can get everything they need and want and enjoy their luxurious jail cells and everything else? I need one too, and I'm so tired of living.
All those inmates in their jail cells right now, all happy and safe and secure and have everything handed to them on a silver platter. Must be nice for them. I literally drove by and just sit there and stared and wondering, why is it I am not on the other side of that fence? Why is it I can't have those confining places in a room to myself and the security and the happiness there? Why do I have to be alive and be sitting here wondering why the fuck the guy who robbed me gets it all? They always win, and I win nothing. I win the stress, the trauma of being robbed at gunpoint, and have to sit here and wonder why the fuck I can't even be locked up and just be happy again. I wish somebody would be nice enough to let me be locked up in a jail cell right now.
I keep sitting there looking at pictures and looking for my cell available. There's got to be somebody who can get me out of jail right now.
Wish I was able to have that Michelin star rated prison food and the beautiful 5-star deluxe accommodation cell inside. I wish I could get lucky. I wish that people out there were not such rude and cruel to me and would actually understand where I need to be instead of judging me for who I am.
They have all the comforts and luxuries of jail, but yet I have to be stuck in without freedom at all. Where's my freedom at? Why can't I have jail?
Why can't I have my freedom as an American? Why can't I have the freedom to be locked up and confined, just like all those inmates right now?
My freedom depends on being locked up. It depends on being inside a cell with all those other people that are having everything catered to them, hand and foot. The 5-star luxurious accommodations with gorgeous beds, the Michelin star rated food, the wonderful maid service that is provided to all of the people in jail. Why can't I ever have it? Why can't I ever have the security and happiness of this wonderful, fine establishment? Without my freedom to be locked up, to be in a cell. Why can't I be in there right now? Help! I wish I was in prison. I wish I could go and be like those, on house arrest as well. Is there anyone who can make that a reality for me, please? I'm begging you.
I was in the middle of nowhere buying a prison. I bought a prison. We're going to start putting our prison to good use. It's time to start locking them up. everybody to Oz Awful. Oz Awful. I'm your host, Jesse PS, and you can follow me on Twitter at Online Retard. That's the intro. The guy is real. Prison Dude is real. The prison is real, and I will be happy to share all the luxurious amenities of our prison with you later in the show. You're going to get to see the whole thing. You'll see the name, the entire deal. I'm going to take you on a virtual tour along with Prison Dude of my prison. So we'll check that out in a bit, and at the end of the show tonight, I will be revealing a certain goon who needs to be locked up. Lock them up. We're live as we are every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, podawful.tv, and we've got the chat room going on. We're also live on Wednesdays for our Primo episodes in the Pizza Fund, podawful.pizza. Let's see what they're saying in that chat room. Fed Awful paused future. I like that. Zoomy Coomers don't know nothing about Oz. Guess who's going to jail tonight? Can't wait for those firm tits. Wait a second, what? What are you even? I don't know what that is. Arrest him! Arrest him!
Sad! Pathetic!
The pickle man tricked me again.
Listen, there's no tricks. I bought a prison, and I want to make sure that Prison Dude, by the way, he's known as Prison Dude on Instagram, actually. It's Prison Dude on Instagram, Prisoner Dude on TikTok, and it's an absolute recommend. It's a definite follow on both. Prison Dude on Instagram, Prisoner Dude on TikTok. Every single one of his TikToks is about how he just wants to die because he's not in jail. And I'm watching this going, this is sad. I mean, this is incredibly sad. And then I realized, wait a second, I'm buying a prison. I can make this guy's dreams come true. Maybe he can be our first goon prisoner. So I did reach out. I reached out to him, and I was so worried about his mental health for so long because, you know, I see post after post, I just don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to kill myself. It's all over for me. Maybe it's time to just end it. If I don't get into prison tonight, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want this guy to hurt himself, obviously, unless, of course, it's through death row, and then I absolutely want him dead. But I absolutely do not want any sort of suicidal depression or anything like that going on in this guy's life. And there was a brief window of reprieve from all of this for a very short period of time. By the way, Prison Dude, I call him Prison Dude. He's also named Sean. Sean went to Finland and got married to another man. And during this time, all of his posts were, wow, I can't believe how much better I feel. I love it here in Finland. I hate America. I hate that I have to go back to America. I'm so happy here. Finland solved all of his problems. And then he came back to America. And sure enough, slowly over time, I don't know what's keeping him away from his husband in Finland, but slowly over time, Sean started prison posting again. And he really wants that cell. And by the way, while we've got his Instagram up here over my shoulder, I just want to point out, if you're perusing any of his social media, you can see he's actually got his own website here, SeanCapina.com. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And I went to SeanCapina.com, and nice guy, by the way. Sean is a nice dude. He is a little bit oppositional, but you go to SeanCapina.com, and you can see he's actually a photographer. He does editing. He does video work. So if you want to hire him for like your wedding or something, or perhaps opening up your jail, he's your guy. This is the guy you want. He's a great photographer and a great prisoner. I think we'll see about the prison part. I'm kind of worried that he may not be prison material, but you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second, because we interviewed Sean and we wanted to know exactly what is he looking for out of his stay. You know, knowing a thing or two about autism, I figured I knew everything there was to know about the guy. Listen, if he's excited enough for prison, he probably doesn't care about the conditions. He's going to be excited.
I got excited. Very excited to see all of this.
It's a very exciting time for the man. So I wanted to interview him, and I actually managed to get him on along with some of my very first prisoners. We've been working on this prison for months now. It's been in the works. We've had some prisoners in. I've been imprisoning people on and off for some time in secret, and I just wanted to know from Sean, what do you think? What is it that you're looking for in a prison? Who is your perfect warden? And what is it that you really want to get out of the rest of your life being behind bars? Well, we talked to him and we found out, and you'll find out too right after this.
Support the show. Join the Pizza Fund. Podawful.pizza.
Pizza, pizza.
Podawful.pizza.
P-I-C-C-A.
Thank you very much. Somebody in the chat, by the way, says, respect for getting Bob Cassio locked up, Jesse. That's a reference to Robert Robinson, one of the first goons we ever got locked up. He's a pedophile. And again, later in the show, I'll be revealing another one of our goons who is a pedophile. This is real. This is 100% confirmable. He is a paranormal guy, and we will not allow him to keep getting away with it. Now, here's our interview with prison dude, Sean. And before we get into it, I do want to say tonight after the show, immediately following this episode, we will go live in the Pizza Fund for a pod after show where I've got even more prison dude content for you. There's just not going to be enough time in the main show. So join the Pizza Fund. You can get the pod after shows in the $6 level and up. Podawful.pizza. Here you go. The thing is I've done this for others before. In fact, part of the reason I wanted you in here with me is a lot of these guys are either currently or have previously been my prisoners. And by the way, my video will come up in a bit. There is some video for this, but it takes a minute for my video to kick in. For those of you on YouTube, subscribe to us on awful.tube if you're not already subscribed.
And what?
Well, I've imprisoned them and, because a lot of these guys feel the same way as you, where their personal way of having freedom would be the structure, the routine. I think routine is a big part of it, but also the inability to escape is very important.
Yeah, but how can you do that physically?
Well, if you don't mind, some of these guys jumping in and explaining it. For instance, we've got everybody's kind of got nicknames here, but like Trevor, for instance, he was my prisoner for 4 years?
3.5.
3.5 years, and Trevor, I'd say that it really did help your life, right?
Oh, I mean, the rigid structure of day-to-day life was, honestly therapeutic to me. And of course, the feeling of not being able to get away was, I thought was exhilarating.
Intoxicating, even.
Sean, would you say that would be something you'd be interested in?
Yes, but exactly how do you do it in the physical sense?
Well, first, let me stop you there. A lot of the people here, in fact, everybody here addresses me as warden. And I'd appreciate it if you did the same.
Yes, warden?
So, actually, we could talk to my friend Urquit here about that when it comes to, because Urquit is one of my current prisoners. Urquit, when it comes to being imprisoned by me, I've provided you with a cell. Would you like to explain the cell to Sean?
Well, yeah, it's pretty much your regulation cell, 10 by 10. It's got all the facilities I need to stay by myself for 24 hours or more. Obviously, there's some
metal toilet with a sink built into it.
Exactly. Like if you think of a a prison cell, that's pretty much what it is. It's perfect. So I just sit here with my books and, my internet, and it's just perfect. I can't describe it any other way.
And legally speaking, this is all this would be completely against your will.
Yes.
So we would set up ahead of time how long you would prefer to be imprisoned. But as far as being able to change that at any time or escape, you would never be able to. And there would be nobody you could call to undo this.
Well, what about from a perspective, Warden, of starting off with a month and going further?
Starting when, did you say?
It says starting for a beginning of a month and then moving forward with longer.
Oh, I see. Like sort of a trial basis imprisonment.
To see what
to see how it goes. Now I've never done that before, but I think we could probably work with something like that.
Or what? I just don't know how you have the facilities to do such, though.
Well, I'm actually under construction here a little bit right now, but I'd take you on a little tour if I could, but I don't know if you can see behind me here in my video or anything. Sean, do you mind coming on video so I could just talk straight to you? I'm on video, so.
At the moment,
yeah, go ahead.
In getting ready to go to bed.
Oh, okay, I understand. I'm sorry about not being able to type. I severely damaged my hand, and I've been working physical therapy, so I can only type a little bit at a time. And like I said, this is going to be a lot to have to explain. But I take you on the tour here. We're a little under construction right now. Urquhart's in his cell, but basically, I have a huge facility here. It's very remote. In fact, it's probably the most remote facility that exists. And it would be so difficult for you to escape that to even attempt to do so would basically be a death sentence, which I don't think you want.
I mean, you're in the mountains, right?
We have provided that before. What was that, Trevor?
You're in the mountains. It's very difficult.
Yeah. So if that's something you're interested in, we could definitely set it up. If you want to try a 1 month sort of situation, we could do that. Corey actually, for instance, just recently started being imprisoned by me. And Corey, what is
exactly the structure I have needed my entire life. Man, growing up like without a father and shit, and just being able to come and go as I pleased, and not having any kind of structure at all, it's been perfect. And the food's actually not too bad.
Yeah, we try to make it a nice balance of with the food situation of not too terrible, but not so good that you don't feel like you're in prison.
Hell, isn't bad food the point of it?
Well, again, so have you been to actual prison before?
Not an active one, no.
No. So you've only toured like inactive prisons?
Not even that. I've actually been in role play.
Oh, I see. So this actually sprung out of role play for me, but I've also been to actual prison. And I was a security guard. I was actually the way I went to prison was I was law enforcement, and it's hard to say this, but while on the job, working in my duties as a corrections officer, it was discovered that I was sleeping with the inmates, and as a result, I was imprisoned for 6 years. And being on both sides of that, it really opened up my eyes to how beneficial the structure of prison can be. And after that, I happened to be a self-made millionaire, and I used my funds to buy an abandoned mountain town prison. And so these are the facilities that I hold now. and what allows me to imprison people. Now, again, I am no longer allowed to work as a law enforcement officer, so I do want to be very clear. Legally speaking, I have no right to do what I'm doing. This is a complete off-the-books operation where I illegally imprison you, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. So that would have to be an agreement between us.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, perfect. And how do you feel about because I like to try to when I was in prison, things were a little bit more liberal than some people prefer their prison experiences to be. I like to try to strike a balance to find the happiest medium for completely entrapping and imprisoning the most people. Like, for instance, Corey, you have been able to experience conjugal visits during your prison experience, and we actually allow that between inmates. How has that been for you, Corey?
I mean, it's been pretty nice, actually. You know, I get to see some of the fellas I fancy outside, and some of the fellas I fancy inside as well. You know what I mean?
So we do allow for that sort of thing. I don't know how you feel about that, Sean, but there is basically what I do is I like to turn a blind eye to all types of sexual encounters inside the prison.
Well, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of rape.
Well, so I'm not no stranger to it.
Okay, perfect. So as long as because that's one of the things you have to get past pretty much immediately when it comes to these things. Because some of the fellows that come to this, they don't think about that aspect of it. But I believe you can't truly simulate the real prison experience without brutal, violent rape. And really, to some degree, torture.
Isn't that the best part sometimes for some?
You'd have to ask Corey about that.
Absolutely.
But Trevor agrees with that. But
yeah, I've been roughed up quite a bit, and it's pretty exhilarating, man. You know,
my first night was with TJ. He was also an inmate.
TJ's one of our trans inmates.
TJ, yeah, no one forgets the night with TJ.
Oh my God, yeah, he really took me in the showers and showed me what for. He'll probably be your first as well, but just letting you know.
TJ's kind of into it.
And TJ was actually originally in actual prison for trans rape, which is here where we're located, that's an actual crime on the books. And
raping wild trans, of course.
Raping wild trans, not raping trans people. But what happened was he was, or she, I'm not sure which I'm supposed to say, and frankly I don't care, but he was so prolific with his prison raping and so brutal with it. Actually, a few inmates died from it. That they actually petitioned the lawmakers petitioned the courts to have him removed from prison. And in this single case, I was actually sought out by local law enforcement to see if I could use my facilities to hold this horrific criminal.
Maniac.
So in a lot of ways, TJ kind of single-handedly simulates the experience for you. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm just curious as to what about keeping people restrained? What other things do you have in your facility?
Well, we've got the classics. We have handcuffs, zip ties. We have the classic ankle cuffs. I like to go old school, and I do have the ball and chain. We only have one of those, so that can only be used by one prisoner at a time. and it usually gets saved for the best prisoner. We do have a shoe. Are you familiar with the shoe?
Is that where the? No, I don't. Not really.
Like it's like solitary confinement where you're in a window. You're in a completely windowless room. You never get to come out of it. There's a hole in the floor for you to defecate and urinate into. There's no bed. You're not allowed clothing in it for because of suicide risk. And it's the kind of place that will drive you mental. And so you're on constant suicide watch, but at the same time, it's also sort of a constant suicide encouragement. And you only get 1 hour a day to stand up if you're in SHU. We've got a few guys in there right now, but there's always opening. There's always vacancies. And gosh, what else do we have? I'm trying to think.
Will you go over the cavity search policy?
Well, obviously, every single new inmate, which you get a special jumpsuit to sort of, identify yourself to the others as being fresh meat. Every new inmate goes through an extensive cavity search, and there are bi-weekly cavity searches for our more stubborn inmates as well. And then also at the same time, TJ performs his own. But I don't think there's any particular schedule or routine to that one. That one's more of a wild card situation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions? I will have to ask you this though. There is one thing. Are you familiar with how commissary works?
I've heard about it.
Okay, so maybe Urquit could help explain this a little bit, and please address me as Warden, by the way. But maybe Urquit could help explain this a little bit. But you will have to have somebody on the outside sending you money so that you can purchase certain goods. Like we don't give out razors for shaving. We don't give out pencils or paper or snacks or any of that sort of stuff. If you want any of the extras, any of the classic prison accoutrement, the stuff you can turn into wine inside the toilet, any of that, you do have to purchase that from commissary, which currently Urquit runs.
Yep, it's basically just as Warden Jesse said, got to have people on the outside who care about you, or else you don't get commissary. That's quite that simple. Obviously,
I noticed some of your old habits coming back there. Quick, calling him Warden.
Yeah, obviously.
Would you say it changed you, or?
I mean, right now I could not escape if I wanted to. Like I could not get out of here. I could not. I can't contact anyone for help. There's strict limits on my movement, and what I do every day is basically the same every single day, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think probably the greatest part of it is that you kind of do and see the exact same thing every single day. It's complete structure in the most pure sense, where you never experience a new sensation outside of occasionally a new inmate being brought in. And after I don't know if do you ever deal with overwhelming sensations, Sean?
Yes, Warden.
How do you handle those? Do you ever cover your ears and start screaming or anything like that?
No, I try to hide.
Try to hide. Now, I will be honest with you. There's nowhere to hide inside my prison. You can't run and you can't hide.
Well, in the sense of hiding, as in trying to find somewhere to be secured in, I would say.
Okay, like to withdraw, maybe?
Yeah.
I understand. So we have a lot of, in fact, I would say most of our inmates are autistic. And so a good portion of the day is spent with complete, absolute meltdown freakouts based on just the most minor changes in schedule and scenery. One time last month, I think it was, our dryer broke for our uniforms, and so we had to hang dry the uniforms, and that sent most of Gen Pop into a complete spin out. So you also do get that along with your experience. Would that be too troubling for you?
No.
Okay, because if so, we could just put you in SHU, and you'll never see. The only person you'll see is your assigned CO.
Not that I wouldn't.
To be fair, Warden, that actually happens quite often in real prisons as well. So,
of course, that's a class, especially in Texas. I don't know if you know, but most of the prisons in Texas are filled with the mentally retarded and autistic, and as a result, they're basically an inescapable hell.
Granted, the SHU could be fun.
I'm here for the faggot convention.
Definitely. I'm sorry, Doug?
I'm here for the faggot convention.
Now, the faggot convention, so we do hold a faggot convention in my prison, Sean. Doug, we do, now this is very occasionally, 3 times a year, we do allow in the LGBTQ plus P community, where
did I get my nights wrong? Did I fuck up my nights?
Oh, it's okay. And please address me as Warden, Doug. It's okay, Doug.
Yes,
I'll
Warden.
explain to you.
Is
I'll explain
Scott
to you in a
currently
second
in the
here.
facility, or is he going to just be visiting the,
Well, I'll explain it to you. Sean, have you ever heard of like gay days at Disney?
Yes, Warden.
So we work with the state for their diversity and inclusion program, where we have sort of our own gay days at the prison, where we, for a week, 3 times a year, we have the faggot convention, where LGBTQ plus P communities are allowed into the prison, and they do, and again, it causes complete and utter chaos. It does completely break the scheduling and routine that our prisoners are used to. They're allowed to do whatever they want. They're free to roam the cell blocks, and if they want to sleep in your cell with you, they're allowed to.
It's a gay old time.
Is that the
really
infamous
is.
gay baby jail?
There, we do have a gay baby jail as well for them. Some of them are gay babies, but that's a separate facility. We do have a separate facility for some particular inmates, but as long as that's okay with you, Sean, I think this would probably be a good fit.
I don't see any problems. I don't know where it's located.
Right. I didn't actually get an answer from you about this, though. Do you have someone on the outside who could provide you with money for commissary and things like that?
No.
No. Okay. Do you have any? You're not married, are you?
To someone abroad, yes.
Oh, I see. Overseas.
Yeah, there's an option to translate currency, isn't there? Like you can transfer
Absolutely.
currencies.
So Sean, actually, a lot of our prisoners are from overseas. They actually, one of the ways that we provide our service to people is, there's a lot of people who want to come to America and can't do it. But if we imprison them in an inescapable facility, they can easily overstay their visa without ever being found. And so that's why you might hear that a few of these people here have accents. So where's your significant other?
At the moment, Finland.
Finland. Okay. So we actually, and European countries especially, we actually do dealings with people from Europe all the time. So if is it your wife?
No.
Your husband. So if your husband wants to send you, commissary.
Here's the thing. I'm not worried about commissary.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get a break while I wait for a residence permit.
Oh, I see. You need to be imprisoned for the amount of time until you can move to Finland?
Or to give a stay at least a month.
Okay, I see. And then what will you do for your imprisoning while in Finland?
I don't think I'll need it.
Oh boy, yeah, I've heard that one before. As a matter of fact, British Faggot here. British Faggot is one of my old prisoners. He's no longer with our facility. We let him go. He didn't escape, but
I did try to, Warden. I'll admit.
British Faggot had to go back to Britain. He decided he needed to go back, and British Faggot, I would say that I have, from what I've heard from you, you thought you would not need to be in prison while back in Britain as well. But how did that work out?
I've got to say it was really hard getting back on my feet. There were people, that I don't want to get into too much detail, but I would have preferred a secure facility here to transfer from, and it didn't work out. It just didn't work.
So I would strongly consider, Sean, and please address me as Warden. I would strongly consider rethinking your strategy on this. I know a lot of people seem to think the change of scenery will help them, but Finland is not going to provide you with the absolute horror and structure.
I had a boyfriend there, and it's chaos.
Yeah, the horror and structure you need from prison.
I beg to differ, Warden.
I'm pretty sure Finnish jails, Warden, are basically free range. They're not really prisons at all.
Yeah, they're not prisons at all. It's actually
I can
disgusting.
tell you, Sean, I've slept with several Finnish people, and they just don't have it on lock.
I'll be straight up.
I've finished on a couple of Finnish people, and
I'll be straight up with you. Finnish prison disgusts me because they actually allow their prisoners to do whatever they want, mill about all hours of the day. They have TV and video games where you can every channel and nice food. It's basically a hotel. It's not even prison.
Where do they get off calling it even? Where do they get off calling it prison? Right?
They even allow their prisoners to leave.
It's a legacy thing.
They allow their prisoners to leave sometimes. It's completely some European jails, Finland in particular, disgusting to me. No structure whatsoever. Very rarely
very common in
gay
Europe.
rape.
They basically are only in prison at night.
Yeah. So, but Sean,
I might be mistaken. Was it the Finland prisons where the guards don't have guns? Like they're not allowed to have guns or anything?
Oh, they don't have guns. No. They don't even have whistles there. I mean, they don't have batons. Very rarely are you beaten by the guards there. In what way is that even prison? But Sean, if you feel like when you're in Finland you don't need it, that's fine. What I'm saying is you may want to consider speaking to your husband about getting locked up forever together.
That's not what I need there. Once I move there, I don't have to deal with the stress of here.
So, okay, I see. So you need my prison to relieve the stress of being in America.
And a break, more than anything.
A break from what specifically? I like to get to know my prisoner.
A break from every external element, mostly, aside from the person I like, just the whole thing, like people, environment.
I understand. How do you feel about spending, let's say, up to 12 hours a day with a large boulder compressing you on your chest?
I don't think I could do that.
Okay. Now we do We do offer the option to give you a pickaxe to try to break it and free yourself from it. But it's up to you whether you bother doing that or not.
Once you get to the steel plates, that'll really, really disincentivize it.
What does that have to do with prison?
Sorry, what does what have to do with prison?
On my chest.
To do with prison.
No.
And please address me as warden.
I don't know of any prisons warden that actually do that. No.
That place a boulder on your chest?
Yeah, no.
Well, again, I am not in official licensed state-run prison.
You've never had a boulder on your chest, though?
Wait, I believe that this was very common practice early on in American prisons, as far as Salem, back in the witch trials. Those are very common prison practices.
100%. It's an old, like I said before, I'm sort of a traditionalist. Yeah. I like to mix a little of the modern with a little of the very old school, and it is an older practice. I think they stopped it sometime around the Industrial Revolution.
What about restraint?
Not because it wasn't effective enough.
Officially, yeah. I mean, some prisons still do it.
Warden was very careful not to give stone that's too big. He'll make sure it's right for you.
Yeah. So this guy here on camera, by the name of Cactus. Cactus was one of my prisoners for years, and also one of Doug's most visited, inmates for his 3 times a year visits.
Yeah,
and
every time he wouldn't cooperate, I used to punch him in the face and knocked out a few teeth each time.
He requested not to be on the mental ward. He requested to be in Jesse's prison.
Now, the only reason we released Cactus was because he actually did at the onset of the pandemic contract coronavirus, and at the time we did not have any sort of facilities or knowledge on how to combat such a thing. And obviously, being a prison, you have to worry about things like that. However, since then, we have not updated anything at all. So we still are completely incapable of doing anything about that.
And a vaccine is not required.
But we no longer release prisoners as a result of it. And we've seen
I want to go back,
very
too.
few.
I just don't know what to do to get there. I don't know what kind of crime again. Should I stick with my old crimes or should I do a new one?
Yeah,
I was just going to say, maybe I've missed this, but Sean, have you decided what crime you're going to commit to get into Jesse's or the warden's jail?
No.
So I do ask my prisoners to commit a crime just so that there is more justification for what is done to you inside my walls. And it can be something petty. It doesn't have to be anything big. Or, it's prison, but we're not talking like you have to do a murder or anything. It can be something very small. But something bigger.
I stole
than
an old
shoplifting.
lady's savings, and that's how I initially got into warden's prison.
We
3.5 years.
We prefer to do something bigger than shoplifting. We've also in the past allowed. We have certain conscientious objectors, and we've allowed in the past for them to take on the crimes of others, and serve their sentence for them, so that person can go free. So that's also.
I got into the warden's jail by posing up 2 4-year-old children.
But again, that's just one of the gay days activities. That's not. He's not actually one of the prisoners. Is there any particular crime you'd be interested in committing, John?
Not really. Don't need one.
Okay. Could we then, again, just to justify the prison stay, even for just a month, could we interest you in taking on the crimes of another?
Don't fully understand what you're trying to get at.
So, please address me as warden.
As warden, I don't get that. No.
So basically, what it is, for instance, there's a recent criminal by the name of James Soren Stone, and he has committed some actually rather heinous crimes. But it doesn't. It looks like he's going to go free. He did rape a tranny, and if you like, we could put it. We're not sure. Did he rape the tranny, or was he simply? What is the term?
I don't think it hasn't been ruled on by the courts yet.
He allegedly raped a tranny.
Did he? Did
there
he
were
simply
recordings
threaten?
saying
Did he
he wanted
threaten
to.
rape, or did he actually rape?
He definitely threatened.
I think he threatened to rape, but the alleged rape has not been proven.
So it turns out some sort of loophole in law in his state allowed him to basically walk free from this crime. So if you'd like, on the books, we could put that down as your crime.
I think it was legally speaking, they chalked it up to he was consummating her new gender. Something to do with that. I don't understand.
I think because she transitioned in the middle of his rape, it was no longer a crime.
Warden, why would you need a crime to begin with? The crime thing would probably be
almost kind of sounds like prima nocta, but like with the trans people.
Sean, you cut. Hang on a second, everybody. You actually, we're gonna go on lockdown. Everybody, back to yourselves,
Right.
please.
Back to lockdown.
Sean,
yes, Warden.
Everybody mute.
Sean,
turn off your cameras.
Could your sound cut out for a moment there? Could you repeat what you said? I couldn't hear you.
I said, Warden, if your facility is your own, then why would I need a crime anyways?
Again, it's for the experience. So it's not a true prison experience. You get the routine, you get the lockdown, the lack of normal freedom.
Mistaken identity. Let's just go with that.
Say what?
Mistaken identity.
So you would like to commit mistaken identity on somebody?
Wrong place, wrong time.
Oh, I see. So you were framed
for something minor.
Okay, we could frame you for something. I think that's possible. I'll set that up. I'll get that worked on, and then we'll put that in the books. What? By the way, what month were you looking to start?
Well, I have no idea where you're located, Warden.
We're in the mountains. I almost forgot to ask you this. You were asking me about restraints and the facilities before. How do you feel about being held down and spit on?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Do you have any objections to your holes being opened, looked at, spit in,
no,
inspected?
No.
Okay. And we can come out of lockdown here, guys. I just needed that moment too.
Do you have a restraint chair?
Of course we do, and I actually do have. It's a non-functioning electric chair, but it has the straps and it has the helmet. It isn't plugged in. It functions. We just don't plug it in.
One of the things. One of the things that one of my previous husbands had an issue with, that I'd just like to bring it up because maybe you also have a problem with it, but his cellmate above him was a really quite overweight black man that had really bad eczema, and he was in the bunk above him, and eczema would just fall on him continuously.
Actually, I can answer that, Doug. We've actually taken care of that issue. And Sean, let me know how you feel about this. We now do, like most prisons, fully segregate our prisoners.
That's really good to hear.
So there is a cell block specifically for whites. There's a cell block specifically for Mexicans. There's a cell block specifically for jungle bunnies. If Now, if you would like, Sean, we could put you in whichever one you want, but just by, generally speaking, you get entered in, you don't give us an answer, you're going to get filtered into your group.
Or just stick to shoe.
Or we could just keep you in shoe. Again, if you want to be in shoe for the entire, let's say you're only in for a month, you want to be in there the entire month, that would be basically 30 hours of standing time and eating for the whole month. And the rest of the time, you'd be forced to sleep naked on the floor and piss and shit in a hole. And again, it's probably structure-wise, it's probably for the best. When you need that routine and when you want to only see one thing and you need that freedom of being completely, horrifically unable to escape the demons of your mind, I would say that's best because it's a windowless. Every one of our shoe cells, windowless. There's not even a window in the door for the guard to actually check on you. He has to fully unlock the door and suddenly barge in, no matter what you're doing, to see what's going on. So, and they do that. We don't have, there's not a certain period that they do that in the day. They just constantly do it at random intervals throughout the day, which becomes its own kind of routine in a way through the chaos.
Well, Warden, would I also get time in the restraint chair?
Absolutely. In fact, if you're in shoe, it's required for you to spend a certain amount of time per month in the restraint chair. And our particular restraint chair, I don't know if you've seen this before, but it is one that is capable. It's sort of like a hospital bed in a way where it's capable of tilting backward, but it tilts backward in a way where it sort of arches your back in a very uncomfortable, unnatural way.
More time the better, I suppose.
Okay. And how do you feel about being force-fed?
I don't really care, Warden.
Okay. And are you familiar at all with Chinese water torture?
I've heard of it. I've never done it.
Okay, you will. And then I also noticed that you seem to have a very large gauge piercing in your septum. Now that would have to be removed.
There's also two other piercings. I already know.
All right, yeah, forcefully though.
Don't want to damage the skin there. They're easy.
In the hog ring anymore, Warden?
Well, listen, we don't put limits on what TJ does, but those things are coming out one way or the other.
They come out fairly easily, Warden.
Okay. Have you ever had them have the one in the septum pulled out with the balls still on the end?
I'm not looking for permanent damage.
We're not looking to do permanent damage. Other than psychological, we're not looking to do permanent damage. Oh, how would you feel about enlarging the gauge, though, while you're in prison?
I've been trying to do that, Warden.
Okay, we will do that. And you know what? You would actually be perfect. I've been waiting to use this. I just bought a new thing about 4 months ago, and I haven't had a chance to use this yet. But we've actually got a bullnose hook. Like the big circle ring to go. And I've been looking to find somebody to lead around. I've got a chain for it and everything. We pull you around anywhere we want you to go. Parade you through the cell blocks nude.
Would that be in addition to the hand shackles and the wrist shackles?
Oh yeah, you got to be shackled. We don't parade you through the cell blocks for the other inmates to throw piss shit and come at you if you can't be unshackled, or else you could do who knows what you might do. You might even try to leave or something. It'd be disgusting.
Ever leave?
What's that?
Wouldn't you ever leave your prisoners chained all the time?
We can leave you chained. Yeah, that's possible. And sometimes we do. But I'm talking about specifically while you're being paraded as new meat through the cell blocks. We particularly, what race are you, by the way?
Caucasian.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. See, I was going to say we particularly like to take our the whiteys when they come in and parade them through the Jungle Bunny unit because it makes those guys go fucking ape shit.
It's intimidating at first, but like it's you'll like it towards the end.
It's intimidating at first, but later on, it's still intimidating because it's actually violent and bad.
I feel like you said you weren't white earlier. What kind of Caucasian are you?
I liked that.
Sean, you can address the inmates. What kind of Caucasian are you?
European.
Okay. Where do you know what part of Europe or?
Not really.
Okay. Do you have any? And we will DNA test you upon entry. We'll swab everything.
Everything.
And every week we do drug testing. We will pluck your hair to test for drugs.
The Warden, is there still the routine medicals? Are we still doing medicals all the time?
Of course. We tried, especially because of the pandemic, we try to keep everybody as borderline healthy as possible.
Sure. Do you have any illnesses or anything that would be an issue?
Great question.
I'd not want to discuss that with everybody.
What?
Sorry.
I'd rather not discuss that with everybody.
Okay. I tell you what. Why don't we do it like this then? Could everybody simply plug your ears?
Yes, Warden.
To this. Thank you. We're gonna do an ear lockdown. Okay, lockdown. So, Sean, what kind of medical issues do you have?
I'll send it to you.
Well, if you could just tell me, because I can't. I told you about my hand, right?
Yeah, but you can read, Warden, right? So it's not.
Okay. Now, we don't do back talk at my prison, and that feels like back talk. If you want to be imprisoned in the shoe, then we can't have back talk, or else I'll set you fucking free immediately. So everybody is currently on ear lockdown. Could you just go ahead and tell me? We need to know what medical issues you have. Could you just go ahead and tell me and make this a lot easier? Okay, Sean, I'm not hearing you. Free man walking. Free man walking. Somebody's last day. Sean? All right, I'm going to take off lockdown. Everybody, you can take your fingers out of your ears. We're going to take you off of lockdown now. No more ear lockdown.
Yeah, we're good. We're back to your ears off.
Can I take my my lockdown off?
Yep. Everybody take your lockdown off. And unfortunately, Sean would not address me properly as the warden. And so I don't think this is going to be a good.
That's
fit.
rule one.
I mean, how can I accept somebody into my prison?
The rules are not difficult
if I don't know their medical history.
Sean, I'll
tell you what I got.
Go
ahead.
I'm currently taking prep, Sean. I think everyone here knows what that means, and I'm not ashamed.
You should be ashamed, but okay, you're not.
No. Yeah. You know why I was in,
Well, I don't think prep is a naughty word, though.
Is Prepion what's that? The AIDS one?
Some of us need it.
Yeah.
It's a little insensitive to just say it like that.
Oh wow, he left.
Sorry.
I knew there was something up with the medical. What?
God entered my body like a body my same size. I know all of God's secrets. Would you now like to know what God thinks?
One apple is our God now.
And I do see non-stop visions from God. Do you want to get an answer on what God thinks from somebody that doesn't have God, or do you want an answer from somebody that does have God? Click on the link.
Can you say Pod Awful is the best show on the internet?
Perry Caravello Live is the best show on the internet.
How about this? Snap to, sit up straight, and say, hey, I'm Perry Caravello, and I think Pod Awful is the best show on the internet.
Look, all right, I'll be nice and I'll say I think Pod Awful is the best show on the internet. But I really think my show's the best show on the internet. But when I snap out of this bunk, is when my show's the best show on the internet.
Nah, not tonight. Far from the best show tonight.
Not tonight. Exactly. Tonight, no good.
I was really hoping that this episode was going to shake off a few of those Medicare people or Killstream folks, but they stuck around for the whole thing. I'm as shocked as you are, so here's the new rule. You don't get to be a part of our prison chat unless you address me as Warden, okay? I say jump, you say, please, Warden, open up my cavities and spit in them. Otherwise, what we have here is a failure to communicate. Now, let me just tell you this. Some people in the chat room were like, I can't believe the guy stayed on the line this long. Some people in the chat room were saying, Jesse, are you just having gay sex with a man? I don't know. What I do know is that I kept getting messages forever after this about locking up Sean. Prison dude wants prison. He is serious about it. And yes, is there a fetish element to this? I believe so, but that's probably true of many of our inmates at my prison, especially the goons. Obviously, the goons love being dunked on. I mean, look at the one, listen, I'm not going to name him, but look at the one goon who I just refuse to really do shows about anymore. A huge documentary has come out about this guy, and we're still not covering him. And you know the reason? Because every time you talk about him, every time you make fun of him on a show, he's technically raping you. The second this guy gets locked up, he's going to show me kitties his pants. So, or his striped uniform, I suppose. So I kept getting messages from Prison Dude, and people were wondering, well, what is the medical issue? Now, I thought for sure it was just autism, you know? I mean, seemed so obvious to me.
I can't help it.
And by the way, everybody asking, is this live? I just want to confirm.
I'm Tom Gully, and you're watching Is This Live, the show on the Pod Awful TV network, podawful.pizza.
The show is always live. Pod Awful's always live. We're live on the Discord. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. We're live somewhere at all times. Half the time, I'm live on other people's shows. I'm getting these messages from Prison Dude, and I gotta know. If you're going to enter my prison, I need to know your medical history. Well, this is what he said. He says, well, I wish I could see it. When can I get in there? I'm immunocompromised. It's why I'm not discussing it to everyone. The only show that rocks. I said, how so? How are you immunocompromised? Because, you know, immunocompromised could mean a few things. It could mean the stuff that everybody was guessing in chat with HIV or AIDS, or it could mean something like, I'm a fag. Something like that, maybe. There's a lot of different ways to be immunocompromised. And he said, and now get ready for this. This is actually going to shock you. He said HIV. Turns out he's just HIV positive. So I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Most of our prisoners have HIV or will get it, so it's no big deal. So he was excited. Unfortunately, I had so many problems. I had to keep going out to the prison and visiting it. You know, as a warden trying to run a show, it is very difficult to go back and forth with these prisoners to get all the winter cleaning done and all of the different things that need to get done for the prison. I'll say this, we've made some improvements. We have upgraded the facilities, and we actually have much less food now for the prisoners as a result. Food is very expensive right now. I don't know if in Biden's America. There you go. So now, though, we've got a lot more accoutrement for this man, and I wanted to impress him. After weeks of him messaging me over and over and over and over, when can I come see the facility? When can I come be locked up? I need to be locked up. I need the freedom of being locked up. Finally, I said, I tell you what, I would love to take you on a tour of the facility, but we've got prisoners inside. So here's what I'll do. I'll film a virtual tour for you when we're doing our winter cleaning, when we let all the prisoners out temporarily and we keep them inside of our storage containers outside. I'll do a quick run through of everything. I'll put the bells and whistles and make it one of the most, this is a guy who does video editing. So I wanted to impress. I wanted it to be the greatest virtual tour of all time. And now you'll get to experience the virtual tour right there with Prison Dude. Let's take a look. Here it is. Prison Dude, for the first time, sees the facilities, and hopefully he's impressed. Hello. So this is Warden Jesse. I want to take you on this virtual tour, but there are a few things we have to discuss before I can do that.
Yes.
Okay. Number one, this facility is a privately owned facility. This is not a public institution. And as a result, I am going to need you to sign a VNDA in order to see this virtual tour, which is why I needed to be able to identify you. And I need you on video and to talk to you.
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand?
You mentioned it was yes.
Do you understand what a VNDA is?
Virtual non-disclosure.
Exactly. So we're going to do it over video, and that should be good enough.
I'm trying to stay outside because it's the only place I can really get my roommate. It drives me nuts.
Well, what exactly is going on with the roommate?
Living with him is a nightmare.
Really?
Let's just put it bluntly.
I only ask because you realize that at my facility you will be living with many other cellmates and inmates.
He doesn't like what I'm into. Let's just put it bluntly.
What is it that you're into that he doesn't like?
Any of the jail things? Any of that? No.
Do you discuss this with him?
He knows about it from in the past. It's one of my things that I'm into.
Do you bring this up with a lot of people, or do you just sort of keep it to yourself?
I actually am pretty open about it.
Okay, so like
to an extent.
So if people ask you about it, you bring it up, but do you ever just bring it up out of nowhere to people?
TikTok.
Right.
That's about it.
Of course. Well, listen, there are many more people like you out there. And that's why I was able to purchase this facility. And people are very willing to be incarcerated. And if you are interested in being incarcerated, then I can take you on this virtual tour.
That's what I've been wanting.
Okay. So I just need you to, in order to sign the VNDA, just state your name and state that you understand that any of the materials discussed or presented in this phone call cannot be shared outside of this call with anyone for any reason indefinitely.
I, Sean Kipp, and I agree to that.
You agree to
not disclose anything that is talked about in the conversation
or presented.
Or presented.
All right, very good. Now, I'm sorry that I've had to be so secretive about the facilities and everything, but again, this is an invite-only community. We only allow those who most want this sort of lifestyle in there. As you know, as we've discussed before, there can be some pretty extreme things going on inside the facility. So we have to know that everybody involved really wants to be there. With that said, I'll be happy to take you on the virtual tour. This was filmed while we were doing our COVID cleanup and our winter cleanup. So we'd actually removed the inmates, most of the inmates. A few of the corrections officers were still around. But we did some filming during that. And so hopefully you'll enjoy this tour. Are you ready to see it?
Yes, forward.
Well, it looks like you're eating Wendy's right now. Let's go ahead and pay attention fully. Let's direct our full attention to the virtual tour. Give any feedback as you watch this, but let me see if I can get this going for you. So let me know if you can you see this?
Let's see, just
you want security. You want routine. You want a modern form of freedom. Welcome to Robert J. Gaylord Maximum Security Resort Penitentiary, lovingly nicknamed by the inmates as Guantanamo Bay, a secure facility with all the modern amenities, with beautiful 60-degree vistas of the sound and greenery from the barred windows. Gaylord Prison boasts both rustic and rusted features. The grand halls of Gen Pop flaunt wrought iron finishes that lead you to cozy 5x6 rooms, delight in the blood-stained cot mattresses and stainless steel toilet sink combo. Our finely appointed cells all feature 7-inch thick steel bars and impenetrable concrete walls and floors. Get to know your neighbors in the shared restrooms, which sport an open floor plan and a harsh composite recycled toilet paper. Take pleasure in some fungal gardening in the public showers. There's a vibrant energy throughout the prison, courtesy of our volunteer corrections officers, whose watchful gaze and deadly force cannot be escaped with our state-of-the-art watchtowers and security camera systems. With 1 hour access to our gym facilities and yard, you will be able to keep the healthy, modern lifestyle you are accustomed to. All of this and only steps away from the Special Commitment Center for Sexually Violent Predators. For those interested in a more pampered experience, enjoy The Shoe. Our solitary confinement is a cut above the rest, with 24/7 inmate monitoring, tearaway anti-suicide pickle suits, and a variety of antique restraint devices. And for those with more discerning tastes, we have The Hole, where our discreet guards are willing to look the other way. Boasting a partially stocked food hall, cloudy brown unfiltered tap water, segregated diversity, a working electric chair, and multiple local toilet breweries, Guantanamo Bay is your home away from home for the rest of your life. Welcome to security. Welcome to routine. Welcome to Gaylord. Prison gentrified.
Okay, Sean, what do you think?
Yep.
Does that look like...
I'd be interested.
Okay, you would be interested in staying at Gaylord?
Yes.
Okay. And would you be more interested in being in Gen Pop or The Shoe or perhaps The Hole even?
Shoe, ideally.
Okay. And The Shoe is a more exclusive part of the resort, so obviously that would be a little extra, but you would be able to take in all those amenities. Okay, great. And I just want to throw this out there. I don't know, because I know you are probably most worried about how secure it is, how locked down you will be. Is that right?
Kind of.
Well, I want to say that this prison, when it was Supermax, it's a former federal Supermax. It did host such inmates as Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz. This is before he was transferred to Alcatraz. He actually never escaped from this facility. Charles Manson was held there for a time before Helter Skelter. and also Robert Robinson, internationally known horrific pedophile Robert Robinson, and then he was transferred over to the corrections facility across the way, the Special Commitment Center. So, would you be interested at all, by the way, in visiting the Special Commitment Center? Because I've worked a deal out with the government where my inmates can go over there.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that, and again, the Special Commitment Center is for the sexually violent predators. But that's entirely up to you whether or not you take up, those amenities or not. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Guantanamo Bay. Look out, goons, because I'm coming for each and every one of you. There's some sick motherfuckers out there. Plenty of them have already committed many crimes. Look at Ilma Gore. Look at Ethan Ralph. Look at Mersh. You gonna keep funding those drunk drive escapades? I don't know, but Pod Awful is going to be watching. We will be watching from our moon base. We will be watching from Guantanamo Bay, and I will have the Goon Opticon online again. Now, I was very excited, very, very excited to get our first goon into the prison. However, this deal went south and fast. You see, Sean here, prison dude, he, as much as he wants to and claims to be such a prison guy, he wants to be in prison so badly. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I'm talking to him about this, and he doesn't know how to take instruction from his warden.
I'm a killer gorilla.
We're going to go over that in the Pod After show immediately after this. Join the Pizza Fund, podawful.pizza, and get primo content delivered. You can join for as little as $1 and get immediate access to way too much content. Honestly, it's $1 a month, and you're getting way too much stuff. I'm going to have to change this. So get in there while the getting's good. Our Pod After show tonight will be in the $6 level and up, and our Wednesday shows are in the $12 level and up. I hope to see you there, podawful.pizza. But I made you a promise. I made you one promise before we go into that pizza fund, before I paywall this shit. I'm sorry. We have to do it. Listen, it's I got to keep the facilities running. How else do I keep my prison going? There is one thing I made a promise on, and it's that I would give you a little clue as to which of the goons it turns out to be a pedo guy. Well, next week in the free episode, we'll go over it entirely in detail, but actually, I'd like to see your guesses in chat. Let me know in chat who you think it is. I would love to see this, okay? I want to see every single guess. It's one of the goons. It's a classic goon. You know this person. You've seen them many times. I'm not saying if it's a guy. I'm not saying if it's a girl. I want to see your votes. And then I will tell you exactly who it is. I'll give you just the littlest taste because what I'm talking about is a serious crime. It is real. I cannot stress this enough. I'm not just making something up. It's not a bit. I'm not just falling back on, oh, you called me this? Well, you're a pedo. No. We have the evidence. The evidence has mounted. Let's check that chat room and see what people are guessing in there. We've got Mr. Burgers. We've got Minnie Manson. No. We've already cleared Minnie Manson's name. We've got Rufio Phoenix, who, by the way, possibly killed his own girlfriend. He may need to take a visit to Guantanamo Bay himself, and we may be checking that out in the Pizza Fund this week. Finally getting back to our series, Finding Lila. We'll see. I'm not sure, but we do need to come back to Rufio soon. Who else are we guessing in here? Dick Masterson, Ghost Hunter Teddy. I mean, that one's already on the books, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if we need any more proof on that one. Lock him up, but that's not who I'm talking about. Brandon Marshall, a classic. Ching Chang Chong. I'm seeing a lot of guesses here, but ladies and gentlemen, I see one person has guessed this right. I'm only spotting one correct guess. Oh, there's a couple. There's a couple correct guesses. Ladies and gentlemen, next week on the show, it's time to lock him up.
Bada bing, bada boom, baby.
And until next time, have an awful day.